My name is Baldwin. I'm a professional off-road racer. Aside from that, I'm also a defensive pistol practitioner and a father of two. My son just turned 12 years old, and my daughter is 3 years old. Both my kids, they have a lot of fun with Tori, with the lifestyle, relationship that's as colorful as mine. She's been like a team member. So that night, we ended up going to In-N-Out and drove through the drive-thru. We ate in the parking lot. As soon as we got done eating, we stepped out of the car to get some fresh air. We're cooped up in the house like this whole time during quarantine, and cars started to leave. People were just finishing eating. About 60 seconds after the last car left the parking lot, I heard Tori whisper, BJ, like, aggressively in distress, and she looks like terrified. I scan the parking lot, I see two people in the parking lot. The guy in the back had his hoodie really tight. The guy in the front had his hoodie a little bit looser, and you could see his head was tilted and he was smiling. And I looked at what he was holding. Once I ran up his extremity, I'm like, that's a .45 caliber 1911. And this is not a fist fight. This is a gunfight. The counter-ambush opportunity that I got is he looked at me, he was smiling really big at her, smiled at me, and he said something in the nature like, what's good, and then went back. In the process of him trying to point the weapon and try and orient it back at her, he was going to have to decelerate using all these various muscle groups, and that was going to be my opportunity to make the best out of a bad situation, because I knew I was going to get shot at. I knew there was a pretty good chance I was going to get shot. At that moment, I said, listen, go slow. Take your time and get your hits. And it'll be the fastest thing he's ever seen in his life. I stepped to the left 2 steps to get behind my available cover, which was very low quality in reality, although my brain was tricking me into thinking it was very high quality cover. I drew in the process of moving to cover, and I cranked off my first round to engage the threat. I wasn't going to let him get any closer to Tori. Tori was unarmed, absolutely petrified, and running for cover. After he engaged Tori twice, he began to engage me and fired at me multiple times. As soon as I engaged the man with the gun, the second guy ran faster than I've ever seen anybody run in my life. I continued trying to save Tori's life, save my life, and continued to engage the threat until the threat was no longer a threat. Obviously, I never wanted that to happen, but if it came to that, I'm going home to my kids. Not all lethal force scenarios where you have to defend your life or the life of a loved one are as clear-cut as mine. Days after my event in the aftermath, I realized I was missing one really important tool, and that was a membership from the USCCA.